Hello, dear listeners. Welcome to the first episode of the Toss Up, where we discuss interesting cases that happen in Malaysia. I'm your host today, Jiven, and joining me today is my amazing crew. First up, we have Leonard from Cheras.
Meeting with Macha. Let's go.
Wrong show.
Okay. Sorry.
And next up, we have the beautiful looking Ian.
Hey, what up?
And last but not least, we have the Indian Kung Fu master, Kris.
Woo!
You celebrated Chinese New Year, right?
Yeah, I did.
So how was Chinese New Year for you this time?
Chinese New Year was nuts because I think everybody just wanted to gather ever since 2 years ago with the COVID MCO thing, right? So all of us wanted to gather, and then now the numbers all rise also lah.
Oh, this fella must be one of the cause lah.
Is it because of y'all? Are you saying is it because of y'all? Because it started with y'all also, right?
Okay. Anyways, today we'll be talking about one of the most interesting case that happened in Malaysia, the disappearance of the Thai Silk King. Jim Thompson was an American businessman who traveled to Thailand and helped grow the Thai silk industry in the 1940s. It is important to note that before he was the Thai Silk King, Thompson donned many hats. He worked as an architect in New York before becoming a member of the US military, first in the National Guard and later in the Office of Strategic Service, OSS. If the OSS doesn't sound familiar, it's because the agency does not exist anymore. It was later replaced by the CIA. I think OSS was a very bad name last time.
Yeah, OSS is very close to another word which starts with A.
Yeah, just change the O.
So this story, right, is very similar to how action movies are made.
Yeah.
Okay, it has everything, It has some crazy theories and some not so crazy theories. Thompson spent a solid amount of time in the military until he left in the 1946 to finally go into the silk trade. He built a name for himself in that industry for decades. On the 26th March 1967, Thompson decided to travel to Cameron Highland. What no one knew at that time was that trip would be the last time anyone ever saw him again. He vacationed with his Singaporean friends at their now infamous bungalow called the Moonlight Cottage.
Moonlight Cottage.
Can I be honest? Can I be honest here? Okay. If I were to go partying with my Singaporean friends also, it'll be the last time they see me lah, because they're damn boring. I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. Okay?
Wow.
You think Singaporeans are boring or
Yeah.
Cameron Highlands is boring?
Singaporeans are.
Wow. Cameron Highlands more
That's
exciting
why
than
he
Singaporeans
ditched
for you,
his
I
Singaporean
guess.
friends. That's it.
To me personally, I don't find Cameron Highlands that exciting. I find it that it's one of the most boring highlands we have compared. We have two islands, right?
Yeah.
Cameron and Genting.
3.
And one was it?
Fraser's Hill. That one's a hill.
Oh yeah, actually
Fraser Hill.
nobody talk about that place.
Yeah, because nothing is there in that place. So, what actually happened? How did Thompson go missing? So, at around 1:30 p.m., Thompson left the bungalow for an afternoon walk, and the last thing they saw him doing was just waving at them in a corner.
I think he said, if I'm not mistaken, I think I read somewhere that he said "Good night, sweetheart" when he waved.
Really?
Yeah.
To his
Based
friends
on-
or what?
Oh, so
Yeah.
you know this story?
Yeah, I think I did a little bit of research before. And I think from what I know, is that they say that he waved and then he said the words "Good night, sweetheart" or "Goodbye, sweetheart."
Oh my
And
god.
it's-
That changes
yeah.
the narrative a bit.
Yeah,
more.
that changes a little bit more.
Time went on and there was no sign of him returning up to 6 p.m. His friends started panicking and they started an official search. Policemen, Aura Asli trackers, British servicemen, tourists, shamans, mystics, and reward hunters were just a few of the groups that were asked to help to find Thompson. The actual reward, if he was alive, was 25,000 and 10,000 if he was dead.
This one, the money, is it in USD?
Yeah,
or,
it's in
or
USD.
Thai baht? Or
It's in USD. It's in total USD because because it was so high profile, even the US embassy was part of the search.
Wow.
But they
Okay.
could not find anything.
Like not even a single
Not even a single evidence.
Oh.
So do you think if one of us went missing, do you think we are worth 25,000 at least?
Oh, not even 25 cents.
Okay, like maybe I'll put
I
up
think I'm worth more than that lah, maybe. Slightly more.
slightly more. How
Slightly
much?
more.
I think I would be around 80,000.
Who
Wow.
would
80,000 if
who would
I'm
willing
alive.
to pay that much of price?
Yeah.
My sugar mommy.
Oh, okay, okay.
Who's the sugar mommy lah? Can you say it on camera?
Yeah.
Who?
Would she accept another son or not?
I think she's maxed out right now.
Oh, max out.
Okay,
Like her credit card.
If you guys want to know about that, be sure to check out the channel.
So there are a few theories about what actually happened. There is actually about 4 theories. The first theory is an animal attack. So the most logical one, I would say, that Jim got attacked by a wild animal. Unfortunately, this theory has already been debunked. Basically, if a wild animal did attack him, they would surely leave some bones and remains behind. In this case, not a single remain of Thompson was found, which further proves the human forces could have been behind it. The second theory stated that he was killed by the agency that he used to work for, the OSS. It was said that Thompson entered a mysterious black car that the CIA owned and he was killed from there. Now, this theory doesn't have so much claim for it because if he entered a car, his housemates and passerbys would have heard him. Also, Thompson was a loyal and very, very useful member of the OSS, so there was no motive for them to kill him. I kind of agree with this theory. I don't think this theory has any validity to it.
I think this theory makes the most sense actually.
Why
From
not?
all the movies I've watched, the CIA would like to clean their tracks, you know. They would not want to leave.
I was
any-
thinking about a movie
any
also
people-
straight away.
Right.
The movie is playing in
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
head right now.
that's why I think James Bond might be inspired from this lah, from this theory.
James Bond.
Yeah, because it's 1967. When was the first James Bond movie out? lah? I
Don't you
know.
think if James Bond was inspired by this, he would be James Bond?
But he's missing. So they needed to get another James Bond.
They need to replace 007.
You see, they straight up come up with 007. What happened to 0126? Don't know what happened.
Oh, the 7? That means he's not the only one. There's the 6 people missing earlier.
Missing again.
It's a code name there. Oh my god.
That is on another episode where we find out who the missing people are.
Okay. The reason why I don't believe the second theory is because I believe the third theory more.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's- yeah.
So, by far, the most speculated theory about his disappearance involves politics. Now, this theory has been spearheaded by a man named Barry Michael Broman. This guy used to be in the Marine Corps and later he worked as a journalist. Most importantly, he produced a documentary about the disappearance of the Thai Silk King. He found sources that believed Jim was a target of the Communist Party of Malaya, or CPM, and his disappearance was actually a targeted hit job.
Okay.
But okay, take this theory with a grain of salt because the main source of this story actually comes from his book called The Risk Taker, Spy Maker, Tales of a CIA Case Officer.
This guy is a rapper or something?
No,
Risk taker, spy maker, tales of a
I gotta give him
CIA
props though.
case officer.
I gotta give him props because the title of his book is quite amazing. It rhymes like what do you say? It's like a rapping rhyme. There's rhyme to it. So in this book, right, he actually got this story from Teo Pok Hwa. Let's call them
TPH.
TPH. Okay, TPH, who was a former CPM member who told his nephew the actual truth on his deathbed. Or sort of like his version of the truth lah. Because you know, there's always two sides of the story, right?
True.
They all believe that Jim Thompson was murdered by the members of the Communist Party of Malaya because he wanted to meet the Secretary General of CPM, Chin Peng. Okay, but before that, it's because there is some history to it. This is sejarah that, you know, Malaysian government like sort of like
Cover up lah.
covers
Cover
up.
up
Okay, so in 1948, apparently there was a guerrilla war that broke out between the British Empire and the Malayan Liberation Army. I think this part of it we learned in the sejarah. Like there was a guerrilla war.
I don't remember.
Why is it, why
you
is
can
it
study
called Gorilla War?
It's actually guerrilla. It's not. Gorilla War is Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Apes fight. Planet of the Apes.
Guerrilla war. Okay. So this war's entire goal was to free Malaysia from British colonial rule. The rebel group was actually formed by Chin Peng. So back in the day, the attacks got so bad they had to flee into jungles and find new property to use as the CPM headquarters and execution grounds. That property is the Moonlight Cottage.
Wow. All right. That that brings much attention to the cottage itself now.
Yeah,
So,
it's like
I
so-
guess it makes sense seeing how Amno runs things, right? Let's not put it past them.
Oh,
A few people went missing, right?
Yeah. I mean,
would y'all disagree?
I mean,
no comment on that lah.
I don't want to. Is the ISIS law still?
I'm not sure.
I would. No comments at this.
No comments. No comments on this.
But yes, I would agree. It's not too far from what a Malaysian government or any government would do to cover up a mistake
Yeah,
or a trail. And this is also based on movies lah.
Yeah, true.
So movies seems to be a good source of
Inspiration.
reference for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Citation. This
But
movie
already many people made these kind of movies before.
is story too boring. Is it?
But like I said, maybe these were the inspiration for the movies. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
So the reason why they say Thompson could be killed in the Moonlight Cottage is because at that time he was also linked to the former Prime Minister of Thailand, who was also a communist sympathizer. So all this information made the CPM suspicious, so they decided to look into his past. So when they found out he was a former OSS member, it gave them a profile that he was actually a spy that came to Malaysia to come in the pretense of taking a vacation with Singaporeans to spy on the government. So they decided to kill him off lah. Which now sounds like a plot of a good action movie.
Yeah, it is.
It is a good action movie lah. However, the fourth theory seems to be the juiciest theory among all of them.
Okay.
Okay. The final theory was Thompson was only married once and for a very short period of time, which is 3 years. Apparently, during and after that time, he had so many girlfriends, including the wife of a former United Nations ambassador.
During that 3 years.
No, after the 3 years.
Okay.
After the 3 years,
Wow.
he had affairs lah. Basically, he had so many affairs, and one of them was with the United Nations ambassador. So the ambassador was so pissed off by the affair that he ordered a hit on Thompson. So this wasn't the only time either. There are so many reports that literally caused Thompson a love master, saying that he had both female and also male lovers.
Damn, this guy swing both ways lah.
I mean, in the
He support-
1970s, 80s,
Back then, he's the first one to support LGBT, I guess.
back then already got LGBT.
Back
lah.
then already got.
He's the head of it lah.
He was the spearheading it lah.
Yeah.
Probably lah.
You're spearheading it into someone else also lah.
Now it kind of makes sense of the whole name of Thai Silk King.
Yeah.
I think they call him Thai Silk King for different reasons.
Yeah, he spilled more than silk lah.
Right? So it could be a possibility there's all this affair. Somebody got pissed and they decided to.
That is also
That, like I said,
Possible.
possible.
But
Seems
then-
like a movie thing too. Yeah.
Seems like a movie thing. Okay, so now what do you all think it happened? Until today, there's no solution to this case. There's nobody found any evidence of anything that happened to him. There's speculation of what happened, but there's no concrete evidence except for the CPM theory and this love theory. So which one? What do you all think happened?
I still think the OS killed him lah.
The OSS?
Yeah,
CIA.
the OS picked him up, put him in a car,
Bang,
brought him
bang.
to somewhere,
Pew, pew, pew.
and then just
Well,
he's out of there,
yeah.
man. That's what I think. Because
That's what you think.
Okay, if animal were to be involved, a body would have been left behind. If someone were to kill their lover, body will still be left behind. But if you were to clean up the tracks, no body, nothing, it's theory 2 or theory
But also
3.
you have to think about it. Back then, is killing people is very easy.
How would you know?
Yeah.
Kung Fu Kris. Secrets.
Like
I
my
see.
master also once told me that
Your master.
his master was from China, came here after he killed people.
Oh.
So he ran away from China and came here to teach.
So any
martial arts.
police that is watching this, I just want to let you know that
He ran from China coming here teaching them.
Yeah.
Teaching them how to
Teaching
kill.
martial art.
Oh, martial art.
Yeah.
So did he kill them with martial arts or
course
traditional
lah.
weapons? Kill them with martial arts.
With
ah?
martial arts.
So can you kill people with martial arts?
God
ah?
damn.
You can. Actually, you don't have to be a martial artist to kill people.
What's the master's name? Bruce Lee.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's my thoughts of it. There's so many of the theories stated that he died, but no body was found, you know? Not a single remain of his body was found. So it could be he is still alive, living
He's
among
missing.
us, you know?
What? Now?
Hey, but this.
I maybe not lah. Maybe
How
not.
old is he
alive
right now?
He should. I think now by now he should be around 80, 80 or 90.
yeah.
Yeah, younger than Mahathir lah. So I think he's still alive lah.
Yeah, that's why he could be
He's still king,
alive.
right? Anyway.
Oh, maybe he. So you're telling me he's pulling a Jolo lah.
Yeah, I think he might be pulling a Jolo lah. He ran away with something very important.
Maybe with his boyfriend.
That is true. So because nobody knows about the disappearance of Jolo, even his best friend.
Actually, they know where
Archie
Jolo is, but that is not that. I just.
His best friend also don't know, right? Yeah, it's the same thing lah.
But I would say the theory of I think there would be a conflict of theories. I think he had an affair, but not just in United Nations, but probably with a Thailand prime minister. And then he wanted to leak out the information.
So he was double agenting, right? Double agent. Double
The way you said it is totally off. So I think maybe he knew some sensitive information, and then the OSS or the CPN decided to. The OSS could have just offed him, and the CPM took the blame.
So the OSS is no longer OSS, it's OFF. Off.
I think we need like a drum beat right there.
Wait, we got.
Oh, this, yeah, we need this.
I swear, Leonard, you come up with the worst jokes ever. Kris, what do you think happened?
I think he just tried to run away from. He making it up maybe. He's make up all these stories, so that he can escape from the
Yeah,
either side. All
His
these
past.
parts. Yeah.
His past lah.
Yeah.
So, but then he's a millionaire though.
He still can be a millionaire. What? Even if he escaped from this all.
I think you
Jolo
still,
is a billionaire, don't forget.
but his asset is frozen though. But I would think
But now their children should be taking care of that, right? Probably.
I don't know if he has children. Does he have children?
Does he have children?
We never know.
No, he went missing.
that is the first episode of the Toss Up. Thank you so much for
Thank you
listening.
guys so much for listening. Let us know actually what are your theories. I guess we want to hear more.
Yeah,
Okay, let us know.
leave in the comment down below. Just let us know what you want us to talk about it. So we do have new episodes coming out, so don't forget to subscribe. If you're listening to this on your podcast platform, hit the follow button. Tag us on Instagram. All our handles are right in the description. So thank you so much for watching or listening to us. This is the Toss Up. My name is Jiven,
Leonard.
Kris.
Ian.
and we'll see you soon. Take care.
Ciao. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Alright. Get a bump, baby. Yeah, let me talk to you for a second. Oh, baby, why you look sad?